You love Cracker Barrel and their hash brown casserole. You adore the pasta from Olive Garden. And well, the cheddar biscuits over at the Red Lobster really send you into a frenzy. But I'm here to tell you that that is the number one thing for Charlottesville, Virginia. We have none of those, and a lot of the other national chains are not existent here. So that is con number one on the pros and cons of Charlottesville, Virginia. Come on, we're going into the number two. Hey y'all, thanks for stopping by. It's Pam with Living in Charlottesville. And like I said, if you're really into the national chains, Charlottesville may not be the best place for you. But here's pro number one. We have a really overall low crime rate. No, I'm not saying that crime is non-existent. And well, yeah, that's a reason that you want to be working with me, giving me a call, shooting me a note, because there's nowhere here that I would feel unsafe. But there's some places I would not go in the middle of the night either. So we have national chains, but a lot of the big ones that people love and adore, we don't have those here. And number two, we have a really, really overall low crime rate. So that bodes very, very well. Charlottesville in general, the Charlottesville metropolitan area is actually not that big. Physically, yes. But with the number of people, we're still considered a smaller town, smaller city, and the surrounding areas, the surrounding counties add into that. But again, overall, low crime rate. All right, so join me as I continue. This is actually a lot of fun for me because I haven't been into this park in quite a while. So the big thing is con number two. Con number two is actually probably I hear the most as a realtor in the area, and that is cost of living. Cost of living is so high, so high, so high. So cost of living is like, if you look at the numbers, cost of living is actually slightly above the national average. It's not extreme by any means. So remember, your cost of living is going to be your housing, your groceries, your utilities, medical, all of that feeds in. Housing here is expensive. The taxes here are not, we'll just say user-friendly, but are not anything outrageous. We have the state tax, we have local taxes, and then we also have personal property taxes. If you don't know what that is, kudos, but personal property is things like motorcycles, cars, RVs, boats. So things you've bought and things you've already paid taxes on them when you bought them. And then you come here and the Commonwealth of Virginia continues to bill you on taxes twice a year until ever and ever they dwindle out. They have gotten better. They've tried to eliminate them in the past, and obviously that has not worked. There you go. It all feeds in. Cost of living is really only slightly higher, but it's the number one thing I hear about. I will also say on that con though, that I've had lots of clients who have moved here from other high cost areas, and they get here and they actually consider it really a downgrade in prices. I had a client just recently moved from San Francisco, and he was thrilled. His cost of living went down, even with housing and everything else, went down by at least 25%, he said. Even though the housing was more than he wanted to pay, things including his taxes, his insurance, all of those were much lower. So he was absolutely thrilled. So you kind of keep it in perspective. Okay, coming up, pro number two. So you go to Richmond, well, a lot more shopping there. We don't really have a mall per se. Our mall, Fashion Square, is pretty much defunct. There's plenty of places to shop, but if you're looking for say a formal dress, specialized bathing suit, something, I don't know, something off the path, you might go to Richmond. So the location. Also, even though we have the mountains, as you can see, if you are an ocean girl like I am, then the Atlantic Ocean is only 3 hours away. Virginia Beach, straight shot. You bypass Richmond, head on down, and you keep going down to Virginia Beach. So location is just outstanding. But I know the mountains. Everybody calls for the mountains. So that brings us to con number 2. Con number 2 for me is what I would consider a big one, because I would say this really is a car dependent area. There is public transportation, but the con is that it's very, very limited. We have the Charlottesville Albemarle Transit, CAT, and that goes pretty much everywhere in Charlottesville, the official city center of Charlottesville. But once you start going into Albemarle, Greene, Fluvanna, it becomes very, very limited. The other one is the University of Virginia Transit. That is very much so limited for use to students and faculty. So that is not for use for public use. Other than that, yeah, we have Uber, we have Lyft, obviously taxis. We have the motorized rental bikes, we have the rental scooters. But again, Charlottesville area is fairly widespread. Again, I'm going to call it as it's car dependent, and con number 2 is lacking public transportation. So pro number 3, well, I think that speaks for itself. The area is absolutely beautiful, and the options for outdoor activities really, I would say, go unmatched. Whether you are into hiking in the mountains, hiking in a park, birding in a park, so whether you're into horseback riding, whether you're into golf, there are so many options between the mountains and the open spaces. Really, it's only limited by your mind and by your ability, because we even have trails that are ADA compatible. So whether you go up into the Blue Ridge, or if you're going to be one of those and hike the Appalachian Trail, that comes right through the Waynesboro area as well. So right now there's so many things you can do, but even when I was growing up, again, in the age of hose water and neglect, we used to go to the quarry and go swimming. Now, I do not recommend that, and I would never encourage that, and that can kill you. But again, nobody was really paying attention to us. So we would go swimming at the quarry. The other thing we would do is we would go up on the Blue Ridge and just sit on the hood of the car and watch the sunrise. And I got to tell you, there's nothing quite as beautiful as a gorgeous sunrise over the Blue Ridge Mountains. So no matter what you like, if you want to be in a stream fly fishing, if you want to be on a horse riding through the vineyards, or if you want to sit on the hood of the car and watch the sunrise on the Blue Ridge, the outdoor activities just abound here. The reason I talk about these, and these are not like wishy-washy, these are things I want my clients, my friends to know. So con number 3 is one a lot of people don't think about, and that is tourism. So because of our area, because of the historical significance, and we have two World UNESCO sites. We are surrounded by the mountains, so we have amazing trails, again, fly fishing, vineyards, leaf peeping. All of those are going to bring in tourism. The 2 UNESCO sites, those are actually, one is Monticello, and that is Thomas Jefferson's home on the Little Mountain. The other one is going to actually be the University of Virginia, which was founded by Thomas Jefferson, and he designed the campus. So the campus is headed by the rotunda, and it is overseeing a lawn that houses students and professors, and it expands out. But both of those are World UNESCO sites. So between those items, the many other historical sites, the plethora, holy crumb, of vineyards, breweries, and distilleries in the area, we are a huge draw because there's so much for so many people. Now, why is that a con? Well, prime example, UVA students moving in or moving out. That just gridlocks the Charlottesville area. All the hotels get booked up. So I'll give you a prime example. When I got married here in Charlottesville over off of Park Street, but when I got married, the date we picked was actually a UVA home football game. So there were no hotels for my guests. So we actually had to pick a different date for our wedding. That's how gridlocked it will get here. If you live in Lake Monticello and you're going home on 53, which is also the road up to Mickey Tavern or to Monticello, if you get behind a tourist or if you get behind a giant bus, you're going to add 10 to 15, 20 minutes to your travel time, where you could generally skirt through, especially during the summer and fall. You can get gridlocked very, very easily. So that is why tourism is one of my cons. Is it a reason not to live here? I don't think so. You work around it. It's like anything else. Every city, every place has its little nuances. But that's why you want to work with somebody who knows what they're doing and who lives here and can give you realistic, unbiased guidance. So the next one's actually very, very easy. And this is the epitome of why it's so easy. The pro number 4 is our southern weather, period. Southern weather. We get all 4 seasons, very distinct. Now, I will preface that by saying sometimes we actually get them all 4 within a one-day period. But this today, right now, it's over 50 degrees. I'm out, I'm wearing my Birkenstocks and out here in a t-shirt, long sleeve t-shirt, over 50 degrees. There is a breeze because I'm on top of a hill. So the weather here right now is gorgeous, and it's February. We can live and enjoy the outdoors for 8 months out of the year, and it doesn't normally get brutal cold. Right now, February, 50 degrees at night. It will go into the sometimes the 20s, most often the 30s. During the spring, we'll roll around. Obviously, that's actually one of my favorite times because all the trees fill in and they've got beautiful bright green. Summer can bite sometimes because it's the South. So you have the heat and then you add the humidity and you can get a lot of feel-like temperatures over 100 degrees. And then you go into the fall and you are just mesmerized by the beauty that gets put on. And then you slide right into the winter, which we're in now. So the winter here, if you're a snow lover, probably not going to see a lot of that. 2 snows this year. And both of them were, one was under 1 inch and the other one was under 3 inches. So that's very, very typical. So the weather here is spectacular year round, but I'm also going to share with you my electric bill for, I believe it was December, January. We had a couple of really cold snaps. It got down into the single digits a couple nights and into the teens. My electric bill was over $400. That just makes my gut sink right then saying that. So look at this, over $400. That is me and my husband living in a house that's approximately 2,300 square feet. Oh yeah, we're gonna be eating ramen noodles for the next month. So I'm heading back down to my car. But that brings me to con number 4. And what that is to me is political tension. You know, and goodness knows with our history, that is really nothing new because of where Virginia is located. But a lot of people hear Charlottesville and they instantly think of August 2017 and the Unite the Right. But I will say that's also a reason I'm very proud of our community because the people who came for the Unite the Right were not from here. They mostly came from out of state and they descended upon us and it was just not a good day. What was really strange is it changed my hometown from a place to an event. That was a really sad time. So ending us on a happy note, Pro 5, and that is why I love Charlottesville and I adore my hometown. It's not that I got to grow up on hose water neglect and playing on a gutted airplane, although all of those were fun too. It's community atmosphere. Community atmosphere. So even with the political tensions, we stick together as a community. So when people come against us, it's like a big family. We will all unite and come together. We give each other grief when nobody's looking, but that's a whole nother story. We have a really strong sense of community. There are a ton of large events, and there's everything from Festival of the Book to Gay Pride to the Doggy Downtown Halloween. So we really do want to spend time with each other. We have a ton of farmers markets. We have a ton of abilities to get together with neighborhood gatherings. We have events that are local, some events that are national, but we just have a ton of stuff that is community oriented and driven. The other really cool thing is we have been consistently, so at least 2, 3, 4, 5 times, we've placed happiest places to live, happiest places to retire, happiest and healthiest place for families. And it's because, again, of that community. I firmly believe that we have the ability and we have opportunities to make friends, and that gives us community. The options about meeting new people, making new friends. You know, we have a phenomenal all places of worship. We have phenomenal support for fringe groups, if you want to call them that. I mean, let's face it, we have the frickin' Tony Hawk skate park here. That's just frickin' cool. But community here in Charlottesville is a big deal. So thanks for spending time with me. I hope I have enlightened you and given you information that will help. I love Charlottesville. I've grown up here. I've left. I've come back. I actually did not meet my husband here. We actually met in Virginia Beach, per se, but we came back here to raise a family, and because of family. Charlottesville is my home. And if you think that Charlottesville could be your home, I want to help you with that. Living in Charlottesville is not for everybody, and I don't want to try to sugarcoat anything, so that's why I bring these videos to you. Now, if I would love for you to reach out to me, send me a text, shoot me an email, and let me know what you're thinking. Let me know how I can help. The other thing I want you to do, because I have been talking in front of these thousands of people driving by, so besides them, I would love to know specifically that if anybody is actually watching. Not just the people going by on the bikes, not the people driving past on the cars. So if you've gotten anything out of this video, I would really love a thumbs up. And I appreciate your time in stopping by. And I hope that you'll stop by again. I've got several other videos about pros and cons for areas around Charlottesville. I would encourage you to check those out. I'll give you a view of the side. That's the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, and it's you drive by it when you're on 250. So that's your last peek of Charlottesville. If you have a suggestion, you want to know something, please leave it in the comments. I have gotten a lot of comments, and they have totally opened up videos. I had somebody ask about retirement, so now I've got a retirement video. I had somebody asking me about moving with dogs, and I have a video about that. So again, whatever I can do to help you with living in Charlottesville, I would love to do it. Talk to you soon.